everyone, Carmine from New York here. Welcome back to another photo class, number 553. I hope you can hear me with the wind rattling through the trees. I'll speak up nice and loud so you can hear me. This is the Nikon D40. It is a 6 megapixel camera. From 2006. Hold on. DP Review gave this a highly recommended score when it came out. Mr. Phil Askey wrote a 12-page review on this camera when it came out. I'll put a link to the review down below. Okay, best parts about this camera, it's inexpensive. It costs $53 in good condition with about 10,000 clicks. The thing is, it has a CCD film-like sensor. You know I'm very partial to CCD sensors because of its Kodachrome-like quality. Where are we today? Before we get too deep into this, we're at a New York City park called Wolf's Pond Park. Wolf's Pond Park is located in New York City on the coastline, actually on the beach of New York City on the Atlantic Ocean. But you might say, why is it a pond? Well, very interesting. There's a pond here in this park right next to the ocean because in the 1850s, Mr. Joel Wolf, a farmer, sold this 100-acre piece of property to New York City, and the park retained his name, Wolf. That's with an E. And the pond back in the 1850s was used by oystermen, people that fished for oysters. They actually use a rake, they don't use a hook, and they would take their haul of oysters and they would put them in the pond, which is fresh water. I'll show you photographs of the pond now. Pond is fresh water, and they would leave the oysters in the freshwater pond to clean themselves. So when they sold them to markets, like in fancy restaurants in Manhattan and across America, they wouldn't taste as salty. That's what legend has it. So the oystermen would actually repair the wall. It's just a little wall it's a berm of dirt, trees, and grass that separates the pond from the ocean. So in storms, salt water wouldn't crash into the pond and just ruin their whole factory of oyster cleaning in the fresh water. All right, this park is absolutely wonderful. It's really a wonderful place to visit. The beach facilities are beautiful. There's rock. There's rock jetties where you can photograph. It really is meant for the photographer. All right, speaking of photography, let's get back into this camera, the Nikon D40. Like I mentioned, it only costs about $53, but here's the nexus of this video. It's a $53 camera with a $200 lens. This is the Nikkor AFS 24 to 85mm lens. Now, it's a G lens, right? It says G right over here. These lenses with vibration reduction work perfectly on this camera. Now, you might say, Carmine, why are you putting a $200 lens on a $50 camera? Well, to prove a point, to prove that you should put your money in the glass, not the camera. And 6 megapixels, isn't that not enough to take beautiful photographs? Guys, film cameras had no megapixels, just remember that. Now this camera, the D40, is a DX CMOS size sensor, which means that there's a crop factor of 1.5. So you just multiply your lens millimeter by 1.5, and that gives you the true 35mm field of view. The ISO range is 200 to 1600 ISO, but you can use high 1 setting and give you 3200 ISO. It has one SD card slot right over here. Now you'll notice it's on the side of the camera, not in the battery compartment. All right. Now, speaking about the battery, I have my notes. It takes the ENEL9 battery. Very common. You can buy them. I recommend Wasabi, not a sponsor. They're on Amazon. Very inexpensive. Originally, this camera, the D40, sold for $600 in 2006. It did come with a kit lens, but still $600. It's not that heavy. It's only 471 grams, plus the weight of your battery and lens. You can shoot RAW. You can shoot JPEGs. It has a pop-up flash, which is very nice, because when you need just a little bit of light for a portrait outside or inside, it's perfect. I do recommend a diffuser for your pop-up flash. I'll show you a photograph of it now. They're under $10. Now, you might say, Carmine, where can I find cameras like the D40 and other DSLRs and mirrorless digital cameras? I shop, it's a B. I shop at mpb.com. They are not a sponsor. But I like to send my viewers to MPB because you're going to get a good product at a fair price. They're very honest about the condition of their cameras. But guys, each camera comes with free shipping, the battery, the charger, and a 6-month warranty. Certain cameras don't come with a warranty if they're for parts, but that's why I send people to mpb.com. eBay is okay, but you take a chance. I don't know of any seller of cameras on eBay that gives you a 6-month warranty. So like I said, this camera, the D40, uses AFS lenses, right? AFS is autofocus. The S stands for silent wave motor. There is a focusing motor inside the lens. You could use other types of lenses that are not AFS, but you just have to manually focus them. Very simple. Like on this camera, on this lens, there's a focusing ring right here. All right, let's look at the photographs taken with the D40 and this 24 to 85mm Nikkor AFS lens. Let's go.